My pleasure to be here again.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, Kushti. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever it is you are. Whatever time it is.
Yeah, so it's afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Still 9 o'clock here, super early. I should be in bed. What's new, Kushti? How's it been?
So a lot of things going on in the community and with the core development also. So yeah, finally I'm working on 6.0 activation details, and it seems it's less work there than I initially thought. So already having in my own DevNet both 5.0 and 6.0 nodes coexisting with subblocks per blocks parameter being voted on by 6.0 miners. Just one miner in my case. So yeah, we will have adjustable parameter, and it's not about any root intervention into the protocol and its rules. So yeah, I will describe mechanics on the forum. So
That'll require a soft fork.
But the existing 5.0 client will just skip the voting, and it will just skip the parameter, and there is need for soft fork, but yeah, it's very soft, super soft.
I mean, a cloud fork.
This part of the soft fork is probably the softest one in comparison with others. Other changes coming in 6.0. And then, so all the features are ready for 6.0, but yeah, I will do check for more. I will do more checks. And 6.0 Alpha 2, version of the protocol client released with all the 6.0 soft fork features. We are going straight to the protocol update, and then it will be time to discuss subblocks as well, right? How would that be called?
What database is 6.0 using?
It's still level DB, and so for RocksDB, I'm actually testing it on a few machines now, and some guys are helping. And it seems on SSD SSDs it's not bad, but on HDDs probably could be slower, but I need for more testing actually. But it's working better on Windows at least, and in regards with durability in the presence of crashes and so on. So yes, still need for more testing. So let's see about 6.0 in the database. Still, few people are testing RocksDB version now. And there is also need for discussing 6.0 and the approach for soft forkability. So these days there are talks about Ergo 2030, right? Somewhat vision for, how ecosystem could be useful, right, for years to come, and how it can get real world adoption, right, and mass adoption by the time 2030. But I think there is also need to look further, right, to like 2050. Or for the next century, even, right, when it will be continued hopefully by our children. The idea, is to build more and more robust and resilient protocol, right, which is evolving, and not just many in the space just getting some hype-ish updates, right, with no any solid foundation. And yeah, well, those updates are often making things even worse, causing community splits and so on. So yeah, well, the evolving nature of protocol updates, right, is actually making yeah, community growing, right, not splitting all the time. So I used to be a co-developer of NXT back in 2014, 15, and well, because of hard forks, right, there were a lot of hard forks, like 5 forks a year, maybe something like that. Like every new version was a hard fork, and yeah, with a few of them, there were also major community splits, right? And yeah, that was actually one of the reasons why well, the community finally well, mostly disappeared, right, after a few splits. Because yeah, well, for one split there was some fraction left, right, with some struggle, and then yeah, well, there was another revolt against some soft fork, and so on. So yeah, well, after a few events like that, well, the community got super small, so it's still existing, but yeah, super small.
How's that happen? Is there no like core mission that they can rally behind and make decisions based on that in that kind of community? What's the cause of that? I mean, at least in Ergo, right? We can look at the Ergo manifesto, the mission, and think, hey, is what we're doing here moving this forward and going that way? Did NXT not have that? Did they not have some sort of base level? This is why we're doing this, and this is what's important, and let's build based on that.
So that was actually a quite interesting story. So NXT was started by some anonymous developer. Not so anonymous, actually, so it left a lot of traces. So, well, it's now more or less known who was that guy. But yeah, well, so he left. Yeah, he left NXT development like in 2 months, 3 months, and then yeah, other developers joined. So first. Jean-Luc and yeah, some other guys than me. And yeah, so that anonymous, well, initial developer so left so-called NXT tech map, so some roadmap, but yeah, it was actually quite idiotic, to be honest, map. So well, it was I don't know, like tree, you know, with different stages,
yeah,
and well, each stage was described with 2 words like monetary stability and yeah, something like that. And then, you know, people spent like hours on the forum trying to figure out
figure it out. Yeah.
And yeah, that was actually probably also causing community splits, right? Because, well, when you have only 2 words left by some anonymous guy, then yeah, you have different opinions, and then yeah, different fractions, and then yeah, after protocol updates, so yeah, one fraction is leaving, right, because of disagreement. Yeah, so then yeah, it's better to avoid. And the same was to some degree in the Bitcoin community, right? When it was about split into Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Scammer Vision, Bitcoin SV, and what was also the Bitcoin Unlimited. Yeah, so pretty much the same, right? So, well, very different opinion just because of a single parameter, actually. So, block size, and then, yeah, well, a few years of hot debates, splits, community splits, and so on.
Wow.
So yeah, well, after witnessing all that, so we developed the rules we are having now in Ergo, right? So they appeared not from an empty space, right? So there was some history behind, which I briefly described. But yeah, we also checked other blockchains and their communities and splits and so on. Like Ethereum community split with Ethereum Classic story, the DAO hack and blockchain rollback. Kind of rollback of state, blockchain state. That's why we have those numbers like 90%, right, for introducing a rule and to update the protocol version, and many possibilities to do evolution in a non-breaking way, kind of what Bitcoin protocol is doing, but on steroids, kind of. There is need to describe it details still.
Yeah, I can see how that, that kind of stuff potentially slows down in the long run, but in the long run, it's much more stable, much more lasting, much more staying power, at least for those kind of 90% consensus for a hard fork.
In the long run, you are not losing community, right?
Yeah.
That was back then. But these days, unfortunately, this is worse because, instead of communities, movements, right, associated with early cryptocurrencies, we now have pretty centralized structures, right? So foundations, for example, dominate the whole space and decide what to do with protocol. Just a few, just one entity now usually deciding everything, right, without asking anyone. Which is happening in VC chains, for example. But that should be avoided, I guess, because after all, it's not quite decentralized, right, in regards with control. And also, it's about the same. So you have disagreements still, right? Just silence. So people just leaving probably without even saying anything these days. So they're just jumping from one blockchain to another, but without even trying to
suggest change or move change. Yeah.
Yeah, without starting discussions, because everything is decided anyway by a single entity.
Yeah, that gets me about Ergo sometimes when people, I feel like people come here, and at least new people, and they expect the same kind of, who would blame them, right? They'd expect it works the same way as every other crypto out there. And then I don't think they recognize the level of change they can bring in the Ergo ecosystem with, just a little manpower and perseverance. There's so much potential that people can do on their own or with a group of like-minded people here. So I don't know. That's what's attractive to me. But yeah, I can understand people coming from other systems and not understanding that being a complete foreign concept, especially in today's market.
Yeah, but there is needs then to push signal, right, within the community and also outside. So I think now it's very valuable, right? Because
then how, Kushti, we also suffer from. Humans don't often like to make decisions or be responsible. That's a innate human issue. That's why we like watching cable TV as opposed to trying to find something on Netflix, or we listen to the radio instead of playing from our MP3 player. It's comforting to have decisions made for you and to follow along. So that's a deeper thing that's hard to break. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. In early days, the attitude was quite opposite. So And yeah, I think there is big demand also for well own share, right? I mean, the problem is that yeah, well, these days with money printers everywhere doing brr in the space, right? So well, it's. I mean, people are just trying, I don't know, to milk entities right, around, like getting somewhat from ecosystem funds, foundations, all that stuff, and then, yeah, well, deny responsibility and yeah, jump to another milk firm, right? But yeah, I mean, finally, you know, I mean, it's possible to I don't know. Do something this way, but I mean, if a developer is coming to build on a blockchain, right? So then, yeah, well, naturally, it's better if this blockchain is not doing breaking changes, right?
Right.
Which can affect developers' applications. So, I mean, then, yeah, the value proposition for people building is quite clear, and then for users as well, right? Because, well, the breaking changes, well, may affect and usually affect some users at least, right? With yeah, exchanges not supporting forks, hard forks, and yeah, so some wallets not working for some time, so on.
Right. I mean, it's a choice. You look at, if you simplify that, look at the two big OSs. You have Apple and you have Windows, right? Even Linux, I guess. But for the most part, I mean, Apple has enough money to where they can say, "Fuck it, we're gonna." I swear, every single OS update they do is a breaking update when they do their major point upgrades. It's like applications don't work even between like 11 and 12 or 12 and 13 or 13 and 14, so they can get away with it. They have a ton of money. Windows, on the other hand, then the disadvantage of that is you're kind of hamstrung by carrying around this massive legacy code base of making sure stuff from Windows XP still runs on Windows 11 or 12. So I understand both ways, but yeah, it's I think to attract developers, you definitely don't want to have them rewrite their Barkin app every time you push them code to the chain. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's financial, right? Operating system.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Because, well, if money can well disappear right from your wallet or be locked because of wallet protocol updates, I mean, you probably want to understand such kind of money, right? After all.
Yeah. Well, let me give a quick SIGs update real quick, and we can jump back into it. Let's see, what are we doing here? I even wrote some things down, Kushti. All right, first off,
that's nice.
Kushti, have you tried the Bober puzzle that Matt is putting on?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some messages, but yeah,
I think he's got his fourth clue out now. It's not an easy one this time. I banged against it for hours and it really pissed me off for a good evening. I thought I had all but one word at 100%, and now I second guess myself. So I've settled it for the last 3 clues. I haven't looked, so I think I'm going to look again later today or tomorrow and try to see if those 4 clues that he put out there are going to be helpful to me. But there's a couple hundred boba or close to it, and some ergs in there. He took some donations. Mav took some donations for his birthday, and I put him in the rewards wallet. A nice guy. So there's even more rewards in there for anybody looking to have some fun. But it's consuming though. You got to be careful. So maybe you shouldn't, Kushti. You be better off just keeping on coding. We don't want you solving a puzzle for 3 days and not coding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to be honest. Unfortunately, for many community activities.
Yeah, I know. It's the price you pay, Kushti. I get you. the people that build it sometimes can't, live in it day to day while you're building it. It's tough. For people who have been living under a rock, Rosen Bridge is almost ready, almost full operational with their ETH launch. I think most of the guards are updated. I just finished the Sigmanaut guard last night. I updated it, and it took about 5-6 hours for the ETH RPC relay to sync. But I used MG Pi's RCP relay, so he's caching it. So anybody else who does it after me who wants to use MG Pi's, just ping him, and it should be much faster if you're running a watcher, if you want to do that. So that's exciting. I think there's almost 30 watchers last time I looked, which is great. So it should be imminent any bit. I don't think they have updated their. Maybe they have. Maybe I just didn't hit shift refresh their portal to do that transfer, but we'll see. What else? I spoke to, if any of you guys remember this, let me see, the Ergo coins that MG Pi did a raffle for. There's 17 left of these guys at the guy who made them. And I reached out to him last night and was like, hey, with Sigma Shop, can we make a deal where we'll list them for you and we'll send you the address and the funds, and you ship them out so we can kind of post them on the Sigma Shop on Me Finance. And he seemed receptive to that. So hopefully have a call with him later today or tomorrow, work out the details for that, and maybe even after these 17 coins are sold, we can look at more things as well to bring that. So that brings me to the whole idea of what Sigma Shop is. That's essentially what we're trying to do, is to be some sort of intermediate to be able to sell this kind of stuff. If you're like Cyberverse or Walrus DAO or some other DAO, and you don't want the overhead of having to manage that, come talk to us, and we'll see if we can put it through a system and list it. We're working on making it a little more robust and a little more automated. That's why it's a little bit slow for me to list things, because I just kind of have to make sure that I send everything out and everything's okay before I get ahead of myself. So that's what you're seeing there. That's all. So hopefully more shirts and hats, and then hopefully we can talk the deal into this guy and have him post. We'll post those on MuFi for him and get that kind of stuff going. But that's the idea. Swag for NFTs, and as HQ says, Rosen kind of swag too, so that you can, if we're posting swag from Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or Dogecoin or whatever, will accept payment in those things as they cross the bridge. And when you think about it, let's say in the future we're going to do like an escrow service too. So if you have a video card you want to sell and you've been mining Doge with it, you've been mining something else with it, and you want to kind of sell it to the community, you can list it with us. We'll put it for Ergs or for SigUSD, and you ship us the card, we test it out for a small fee, and then whoever buys it has it certified that it's been burnt tests for, I don't know, 12 hours, 24 hours by the SIGs, and it's guaranteed working at this temperature range with this algorithm. So you at least have some stats there. And then when the payment's collected, we ship it off to that person and send the payment to you from that. So when we get in prices like with video cards, I don't think crossing the bridge is going to be an issue. If you're going to sell a video card for a couple $100, $10 to cross the bridge to pay for, I don't think it's going to be a showstopper, especially if it's like guaranteed escrow service where, yep, here's a report on the card, this is what we did. So that's where we're slowly moving to with the Ergo, the Sigma Shop, to be able to sell physical items with NFTs and also act as an escrow that tests these services. And it can't just be one person. So anybody who is willing to join me in this endeavor, it would be great to have help in shipping, packaging, making nice little notes, and testing this kind of stuff. So that's the future. Hopefully we'll get there soon, but I think it's going to be a slow road to make sure that it's going to be good and effective. Speaking of video cards, a shout out to the SIGs mining pool. Mark is coding away like crazy to get his new method of mining interaction with the chain. So I think I mentioned this before, but it's essentially you mint an NFT through his portal, and it designates what your payout is, what address you want to go to, that kind of thing. And all the configurations are saved on that NFT that you put in your mining wallet. So there's no like central dashboard you have to go to and worry about being on a VPN to change your stuff or any of that kind of stuff. So, more privacy plus and just using the chain for that kind of interaction. So I think he's been running a test net with some people, or not test net, but a test mining pool on mainnet for a bit with some people, getting that all sorted out. So hopefully we should see that soon, but super excited to that. Any of your friends, I think we're up to 72, 73 gigahash in the SIGs mining pool. So please spread the word. We've got so much room to grow. Get up there. It'd be nice to be in the top 5 at some point. And I think we can get there. Just got to keep spreading that word. With bonus tokens, with what else? Storage rent. Storage rent. Christy. Freaking storage rent. Yeah. We still have a few bugs with storage rent. I think it's due to a leak in TMUX. Right now we're running it in TMUX so we can detach from it. But after a little bit, it kind of just chokes itself out and we have to restart it. But luckily, the other person that's been trying to get storage rent hadn't gotten any. And we resynced it, reactivated it when we noticed it, and we got a storage rent of 5 ergs. Bam! As soon as we found a block, it was fantastic. We cleaned up, so it's been great. We'll see every once in a while in chat. We'll see storage rent collected at 0.9 ergs or 0.5 ergs or that kind of thing, which is fantastic when you think about it. Yeah. All that extra.
Yeah, I mean it's simply the pool which is paying more than others, right?
Exactly.
Because of being more advanced in understanding the tech. And then, I mean, it's quite disturbing even, right, to see such hash rates. I guess, the more promotion is needed among miners.
100% more promotion. And that's what Mark has been trying to do with his grant to the EF, I believe. That's his main goal, is to try to get the SIG mining pool out there, using those funds to promote and package his tool to be able to spin up other mining pools easily. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we get a decision on that soon. I think it'll be great. What else do we have here? I think I got most everything there. Big successful launch with MuFi. Did you participate, Kushti? The token launch?
No, I was busy. I mean, during those hours, or I don't know, minutes, and then it's finished.
Yeah, I was super impressed. They sold out the first round. Like 10 million tokens or something like that, and then they sold out 2.5 million tokens right after that with a second round. I think he mentioned he was going to do a third round, which is really cool. But yeah, and they're working on releasing their NFT key, which is for tier 6, that allows like no fees and profit sharing. So that is very cool. Well, I'm really impressed with them. For people that don't know, Financial's HQ and ACO, and they used for the Mu Dex that was just opened last Sunday. They used the Spectrum code, of course, and ripped out all the Cardano stuff. So it actually feels a little smoother just clicking through the stuff. Maybe a little less overhead, I don't know. And they even have a designer that's designing the cute little Mu graphics for everything, which is great. And they've even put, if you go to, what's it called? Erg Explorer, there's a Mu theme that you can do in Erg Explorer as well. In the upper right, you can switch it from light mode, dark mode, and the Mu theme. So super cool that they're kind of integrating and branding that. It's really nice to see those kind of branding ideas there. So happy about that. What else? Cyberverse, I believe, is having their skins. I think they're going away, the current batch, on the 26th. So if you have any interest in the 8 skins that are up there from Cardano and Ergo, snag them up before they pull them on the 26th. I think that's it. They're going to vault them up, if I'm reading correctly. But those are very neat. Hopefully we'll see more skins as well. It's a very fun idea to be able to skin your character there.
Yeah. Also, Duck Pulse actually is now
Duck
having
Pulse
another.
phase 3, was it? Did they do they're on phase 3 now, or they just finished phase 2?
Phase 3 maybe, yeah, something like that. I don't quite know, unfortunately. Yeah, also need to visit.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I think they finished. I think they finished working on phase 2.1. Phase 2.2 is still, they're 18 grand away from the full budget there. Yeah, something like that. So they are cranking away. They have in total 84,000 out of 300,000 raised for the DAO. But it's nice. Every once in a while, I'll get a deposit in my wallet of quacks, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I did that. I forgot I have those vesting tokens. Super neat. But yeah, please. So that brings me to the next topic, Kushti.
Yeah, which one?
That is about, and I'm guilty of it too. Ducky's still in phase 2, says Cannon. That brings me to my next thing. So, about participation in the ecosystem and actually utilizing the ecosystem. So, in my Dev 8 Kushti, I spoke a little bit about how when local economies in the old days were being developed, you had the advantage of geolocation, right? I could see you every day, Kushti. I could commerce trade with you every day, face to face. I was forced to survive. And I feel we have it a lot more difficult here trying to create this kind of global but local economy with Ergo, right? We have needs. We have things like we want to buy on refinance. We want to do revenue. What is it called? Investing in Sigmafy and lending on Sigmafy for returns there, but we don't have. It's not the same kind of situation as it was back then for creating those kind of economies. So my only thought to be able to do this is it's harder. We have to kind of force ourselves to practice this kind of stuff. So that means, engaging in duck pools, set an alarm if you have to, and go check out the DAO once a week and make sure that there's no decisions being made. Same with the Sigmanauts DAO, same with the Sig Mining DAO. Go check it out. It's crazy to me that we're spending. I think we've spent maybe $5,000 in one shot in the Sig so far, and that had out of the 30 so voting Sigs, that had about maybe 9 or 10 votes. So 30%. So my thought is that in order to develop and bolster these kind of local economies that are global economies, really, spread across the globe, I think participation is key, 100%. And that doesn't mean you have to go buy something on Mu Finance. That doesn't mean you have to, spend money per se. While it does help, it means be engaged and participate. It's join a DAO, vote on the DAO, put up proposals, spend treasury money, for God's sake. I think I put 1,800 ergs in the Sig DAO treasury. Make some damn votes. Spend it. Make a shitty vote to see if people are paying attention. Make a vote that says, let's send all these ergs to Sahar or something, and see if people are paying attention and have a discussion. Go to duck pools, engage, make proposals. I mean, we can't, and I've used this term a long time ago, and I'm starting to use it again. We can't think we're going to have great success if we're all passive investors here. We really need to be active. We really need to be active investors. I mean, we have a chance. What other ecosystem project can you go into and invest if you like? You don't even have to invest, but then have the ability to shape and change. Even it doesn't have to change, but shape and push forward something like this. I don't think there's anything. I mean, you go into Cardano, maybe you might be drowned out quite a bit, but it might be hard to move stuff. But here you can come in. I mean, look at me. I came in 2 years, 2022, maybe 2021, and was nobody. And I started just coding some simple price bots, and I said, okay, this stuff looks like it needs to be done. And I pushed and did it and kept going and doing it. And there's holes to fill, so I filled them. Anybody can do that. Anybody can come in and do this. So that's anybody. 100%. So when I see people like say, oh, wow, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Of course, my knee-jerk reaction is going to be, you can help fix it. I don't want to say you can fix it. I can say you can help fix it. Let's do this together. Find somebody else that feels that pain point as you. Let's change this together, kind of thing. And that's not the mindset of every single other crypto out there, unfortunately. So when they come in, it's like foreign language to them. So that's one thing I think we're fighting against, Kushti. People don't recognize that, this is our project. This is my project. This is your project. This is Jamai's project. This is HQ's project. Ergo is everybody. It's everybody's dream, everybody's ability to move it forward. And that's a really hard concept for some people to get.
Yeah, so the idea I think also is to make some real world, right, measurable impact. And yeah, I mean, like everyone can do something. At least if something is not working properly, for example, it's worth to describe to developers what's not working right and so on, because often there is no any information, just I don't know, some blaming, some statements which are not.
People love to blame. I know, Kushi. I mean, how hard would it be?
It's not working or whatever, right? So, but I mean, as a developer, you cannot help even. I mean, you need to have some details, right? What's not working and what's environment and what was observed exactly, right? In what order? So then, you can figure out and help. Yeah, usually.
And
usually, all the issues, are not that hard to fix at all, right? From my observations, I can't remember when for the last time, maybe before 5.0, right? When some wallet, Ergo wallets used Mimos, right? And it's clashed with another contract, and some coins were frozen till 5.0 update, but I've forgotten why. Just because contracts were executed somehow in this clashing in that way.
But Kushti, what you said,
I mean, usually you can fix an issue in like, I don't know, like 1 hour, right? So what? But if you have reasonable description, right, of what's going on, otherwise it's not possible to do anything.
Right, and it's not just that. I mean, it's not difficult as a user here in Ergo to, if you notice an issue, instead of just not saying anything and leaving because you think it sucks. I've done this before too. I've pinged Captain Nemo in a DM and said, "Hey Cap, this is happening here. I'm happy to work with you to test some more if you need help. Let me know what I need to send you." Just stuff like that. You don't need to be a dev or anything. If you find an issue, ping the dev. That's the amazing thing about Ergo, is you can ping Kushti and be like, "Kushti, this is happening on the node," or anything like that. And you'll get a response. And if you're willing to put in the time to help them, give them the details or the logs or your outputs, that makes a huge difference to the dev. Because the last thing I want when I'm working on something is somebody to be like, I couldn't get this to work. And you're like, how? All right, what happened? Tell me what happened. Then you don't get an answer. I don't know, it just didn't work or something like that. That's useless. That's 100% useless to us. And we'll just keep on doing what we're doing until something major happens that maybe we have some more information. So yeah, please, guys, please. That's like the base level of stuff you can do that's super easy. Like take Wombo, for example. I mean, all devs, I'm sure, know Wombo. Wombo's brought a lot of stuff up to people and been there to help fix and troubleshoot it, right? Yeah, you got it. So Wombo's exactly that type of person that does that, and it's extremely helpful. So be like Wombo.
There are actually a lot of guys helping these days. So Wombo, Michael, Potato Odysseus, just talked with him today, and well, yeah, we resolved some issues with his not behind watcher on Windows. So I've provided RocksDB candidate jar, which is under testing now on his machine and so on. Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys actually which are helping a lot. But yeah, about participation, yeah, I mean, I think many people can actually sell something, right, on marketplaces like MuMart and yeah, Profit even, and yeah, well, doing raffles also, some activities.
Christy,
So
I think we can convince HQ and ACO to put a wallet ranking system in. So after you've had a few good sales and people respond with positive things, you'll see like maybe a couple stars next to that Priscilla's wallet. HQ, you hear me? Ranking system on Mu Finance.
and yeah, and for raffles actually, so now we have Ledger stacks and flex UI is done, right? And actually, well, you know, it was supported by EF and also Ergo Devs DAO, right? So both put some bounties, but yeah, then some guys in the Russian group actually asked me also to accept donations. I'm going to make a raffle then, and yeah, even if those funds are not needed for Ledger, for example, we can use them for next integration. So, well, with some money we can do Tangent, for example. Well, my guy is checking now possibility to get on Tangent because there is some half-made implementation actually. Then yeah, there is Keystone, right, which is supported. There is Bounty by Ergo Devs DAO, but yeah, well, we can pay more, right, with raffle. And then yeah, also we can do bounties for AppKit development, for example, right. Now, well, Satergo developer Aberg, so the cat developer, is doing something. So yeah, I mean, and yeah, actually, a lot of ways to improve things around, right, and to make thriving economies, right, not simulations like I don't know, just selling tokens to sell tokens.
Right.
But
exactly.
yeah, I mean, to do some real activity, right?
Yep.
Measurable. But yeah, also you can always profit with GPU mining. It's always good for network security, right? And then yeah, with mined ergs, you can do also a lot, right? You can get into gold, for example, right? To hedge maybe against certain scenarios. And yeah, so with Sigmanauts pool, you can get into gold automatically, right? Kind of now or soon.
Soon. Yep, you got it. Yep.
Yeah, and then yeah, you can.
Gold.
Yeah, you can sell GPUs, right? On UMart, you can buy them. You can, I don't know, do a lot of things. Even do with GPUs also vanity NFTs, right? So proof of work backed NFTs. So some already were sold on auction house, right? And, one was sold for 2,500 ERC, like 3 years ago, probably. It was EF sale, and I've generated that on my laptop. It was the first NFT sold on auction house. And so on, but yeah, after I believe there were some NFTs sold also, well, with proof of work done, right? right? And that's about pure tokens. But I believe many people in the community may have some stuff to sell, right? A lot of activities we can support. Also,
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think I've got some stuff here I can sell too, to help prime that from the personal side, not just Sig's shop side. That'll be neat. Also, while you're talking about mining gold, Kushti, I hope also in the future, Mark, it's on Mark's roadmap perhaps too, that we can allow miners to. I know miners have to be paid, right? So the idea would be a split, because Mark's working on splitting payments as well. If you want to be paid 10% in gold, 60% in ergs, and 30% in some community token, that's what Mark is finalizing here. But version 2 of that, I hope, is also going to allow you to split to duck pools. So you can say, let's say your mining bill is only 70% of your mined ergs, right? So you could take, that's 30%. So you could take 25% profit, I guess, and then 5% of that you could redirect to SigUSD duck pool lending and just sit on it and forget about it. You know what I mean? And then in a year you can be like, oh, look at all that return I've made from lending out SigUSD and I haven't had to do anything. It's just a small part. So it's amazing what we can do in this platform. Absolutely amazing. It's like there's never been a day where I've sat down and been like, oh, I think we've reached the end of it. I can't think of anything else we can do. It's quite the opposite. It's actually, there's so much shit to do and so much stuff we can do here that there's just not enough people and not enough time. So keep trying to find more people to do this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we need for more people, but it's rewarding after all.
It
right?
is
So
immensely.
I don't know what it can be compared with even, right, at this point. So I mean, this open and composable financial stack of tomorrow. So
I don't.
yeah.
I feel like we're on a new planet that nobody really knows about, but there are massive amount of materials and resources there that we can build whatever we want to. It just is us and our time to do it. That's what it feels like.
Just because I don't know, just very few exploring Ergonauts. But I mean, in early days, we shared excitement over the forum, right? So that's why I'm pushing to do that now. So to I don't know, put thoughts. They are from our beloved philosophers, thinkers, and practitioners in the community, right? Because a lot of stuff, a lot of directions, totally new. And it was quite clear back in 2019-20. So then we discussed different schemes, and I mean, actually, back in those days. We investigated what people are doing in Ethereum, right? Probably the only DeFi chain back then. But also, we did understand that UTXO is quite different beast, and then came out with different designs like. Decentralized auctions, peer-to-peer auctions now used in auction house, right? And that's not comparable with anything you can find in account-based blockchains, where they usually have somewhat gigantic, monstrous marketplace contract, right, with freeze button possibilities for hackers, all that stuff. So you have just peer-to-peer simple contracts, right? So that's just, I don't know, QX is opening an auction, right? Then I'm making bid, another guy's outpacing me, and so on. And then, that's just peer-to-peer, right? And in interaction without freeze button, marketplace contract, without, I don't know, hackers, because, the code is quite simple. So hopefully it's secure also, because complexity is the enemy of security. Right, and yeah, it's composable, so you can compose this peer-to-peer auction as a primitive with other primitives, doing something like auction coin, for example, when you combine auction contract with liquidity pool contract, and so on. So yeah, a lot of possibilities, and I think there is need still, and there will be need for many years to come to explore possibilities of this extended UTXO model, especially as it's done in Ergo, right? So possibilities are still not well known. So we know maybe like 0.5% still.
Well, we got time for a couple of questions, I think, Kushti. You ready?
Yeah, I mean, too much of us. Let's. And by the way, so there is a proposal by HQ to try at least for once to do instead of spaces something like Zoom call, right? For people willing to discuss, so it's more open format for discussions. So we can try that actually.
Instead of an AMA, do a Zoom call?
Yeah, just I mean, we can try for once, right, and then see
that'd be interesting.
I mean, if it will be a complete failure, then yeah, I mean.
Well, I think it'd be neat to have like a community town hall, a forum. Spaces doesn't really allow for that, right? Spaces is like be lectured to and then be brought up to the podium if you raise your hand. Where Zoom is a little more free form kind of town hall. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so spaces, is actually more about a few speakers, right? Taking most of time, and with the Zoom call, it would be completely free format. And why not to try that?
Yeah, why not? That's cool.
Oh, all right, so let's go for questions. And
let's see. We have Augustus Kent wants to know if we've ever used ChatGPT to write Ergo script or smart contracts. I've tried it before. I think it knows it mostly. And then down below, Mark the Shark said Claude Sonnet works great with Ergo script. He made a smart contract yesterday and it works. Kushti, have you ever thrown something into ChatGPT or Cloud?
Not quite. I recommend to recheck everything. But I mean, but for security, so I'm willing to write another forum post someday. But there are no many issues to check here in the Ergos extended UTXO model, right? So basically, there are two attack vectors I found in scripts, right? Well, one we know since 2018, so it's never happened in the real scripts on Ergo, but I've heard that it was found in some scripts on Cardano, right? So that's about possibility to spend multiple inputs with the same outputs, right? It was discovered back in 2018 by Professor Leo Raisin, who helped us a lot back then. And another thing is that I found in chain cache and probably some other contracts with multiple stages, right? So you need to be sure that the UTXO was actually created right in previous stages, because anyone can actually create a UTXO with certain state, right, with certain parameters. But there are some design patterns even I've discovered to bypass all this. And then, aside of those, I believe pretty easily understandable issues, right? All other mistakes I've seen with Ergo scripts, we're just about sloppiness, right? So just human mistakes. Actually, maybe ChatGPT could be useful, right, in finding conditions.
Pumping it through there, true. Or cloud, yeah.
Which are forgotten by human. But yeah, it's better to recheck the AI as well.
Right.
And what else is there? Also in many cases, scripts in Ergo scripts, I mean, scripts for the real world are simple, right? So in many cases, you just need for something like multi-sig, right? If you are doing simplest DAO, even, right? And voting conditions are simple. Time locks, right? Escrows. Escrow is just time lock and multi-sig, right? So I mean, in many cases, so scripts are super simple, and we even have now this graphic tool, right, to compose them from building blocks. Have you checked it, actually?
I saw it, though, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's actually a super simple tool, and I think AI also can compose such simple conditions easily and without mistakes. I think the Ergo script is actually friendly to AI, right? Which probably does matter a lot for the years coming. With more and more code to be done by AI, but yes, still I'm doing just some trivial stuff, no more than that. With that kind of tooling.
Gotcha. All right, let's see what else we have. We got a question about TVL. Commandant Bay says, "Hey guys, TVL until some time ago, TVL was around 11 million, and it was 10%. Now it's 1.6. What's the reason for the drastic increase?" I think he said he saw this on CoinGecko. I pinged Glasgow. I think he saw it. He's checking into it. He's going to email CoinGecko to see what's up. From what I understand, I think what he says, 11 million may have been too high anyway, but we just want to make sure they're accurate. So he's going to see what they're doing and where they're calculating that number from. So hopefully you should see that updated. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Kamadan.
Is it about Rosen maybe? No.
They're not. They all of a sudden stopped counting it, kind of thing.
Or maybe it's not associated with Ergo TVL. Even if
I wonder. Okay, interesting.
But I need to check actually.
We've got, did Kraken ever say anything about a listing anymore? I know reapplied 4 months ago. There's a smiley face with a tear. That's from Kilver. Last I knew, they're still looking in, doing their stuff that they do with everybody that applies. So they have to look over the chain to see if it's bullshit or not. So nothing yet, guys. Let's see what else we have. Kushti, can you explain the options for a possible SIG USD bank update? If I recall, there's 3 options or something like that. Let me see. Do I have it here? Like one's like to put 100 Erg into the box to not touch it for 500 years. The other's to update the code without update functionality, similar to burning update keys, or update to version with minting limits, and or any other options. It doesn't look like there has been too much discussion on the forum, but has there been any more internal discussion among developers that can touch it or are interested?
Not this time. I think probably all the discussions already happened, right? So I didn't push anyone, right, to vote in a certain way. So And I don't know what's internal discussions, but on the CQSD chats, well, there were not much discussions, and I think, well, MHS and Unreal. Sorry, not MHS. Who is there even? Unreal, not MHS. Louis, right?
Louis Vatra. Yeah, Louis Vatra. There's Louis
I mean,
Unreal and on 2020 MG Pi and Kushti. Yeah, yep.
Oh, I'm MG Pi. Yeah, Anon 20 and me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in some test setup, there was Joe and MHS, I believe. But yeah, that was about testnet probably. Now, yeah, no, not join MHS. But yeah, I think an Unreal and Louis Vatra, well, just analyze the code. And Unreal also have some experience, right, with all that stuff by doing backend for CQSD. Anon 2020 probably, right, because there is some backend in the mixer, but yeah, I don't know much about it. Louis Vatra, yeah, is probably just reads Ergo script code, right, for both versions, and I mean, so all the guys are proficient. And don't know much about MGPy, but yeah, haven't had conversations with him on that. Maybe, well, there were some private conversations I'm not aware of. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, seems that the decision was made, right, to update to the version with limits. Oh, which see about lots of testing now, and I would be happy to see contributions here with testnet setting. So first we need to vote in the testnet, and then to do the same, exactly the same in the mainnet. And updates and back and all that stuff. But
Speaking of testnet, guys, so there's I mean, this is Ergo, right? So we tend to test stuff on mainnet, but testnet's important too. I mean, there's only so much comment we can burn into the ether before we're sick of buying it again on the decks. So testnet's important, guys. So if you have a spare video card at all, just even like an old crappy one, right? What's the table size on the testnet, Kushti? I guess you use CPU, right? You don't even need a video card. I use a video card and just tone it down, so it's only like 10, 15 mega hash. But you can CPU mine. So if anybody's interested in running a testnet node, please reach out to myself or MG Pi for help on doing it. I know Glasgow's spinning one up as well, and you can CPU mine it. So kind of just a couple % of CPU points mining to it, and you won't even notice. It'll just sit in the background and help out testnet. So that would be helpful if anybody is interested in doing that. Right now, I think it's just myself and Glasgow and somebody else mining testnet. I might still be Death Gripson. Not sure, but yeah, very helpful. And you get a ton of testnet ergs, which look nice in your testnet wallet. To have 100,000 ergs, you can pretend for a minute that it's mainnet.
Yeah, well, actually, it's possible to do trustless pegging, right, from testnet to mainnet to test sidechaining at least.
Oh, true.
But,
that'd be neat. Yeah.
I don't have time for that in coming months to come, unfortunately. But yeah, if anyone is willing to do that, then yeah, it would be nice, right, to have testnet ergs, trustlessly coming from testnet to mainnet, and then you can even have LP, right, for testnet ergs there. So then people who cannot mine but willing to support testnet can just I don't know,
exactly.
buy instead for like 2 ergs.
That'd be
So
nice.
some erg, right?
I've
Yeah,
always
and
wanted to, I was wanted to work on some sort of incentive, node running incentive that's more than just altruistic, you know, for people. That would be somewhat
yeah,
nice.
but then a lot of issues
I
there.
know.
So
That's a tough one. Tough one.
yeah, I've published some scheme on the forum, which is about doing kind of proof of stake, right? But in form of a smart contract. So basically, you have some lottery among people running the nodes with unlocked wallets. But there are also some downsides here, right? So, well, in the first place, incentivizing people to unlock wallet is not that good, right? Because, well, unlocked wallet is not that secure after all. Uh, yeah, but then it's quite interesting, right? If you can just run the nodes and well unlock wallet and get some rewards from lottery, basically proof of stake kind of lottery. So the idea was basically to implement in form of a smart contract simplest proof of stake algorithm. Actually NXTs, right? So I mean, it's not provable formally to be secure, but also it's working in NXT for many years, and not much attacks known, no any concrete attacks known, and there is some analysis of it, right, and so on. So then, yeah, it can be used, I believe, just as kind of lottery mechanism, right, to reward for certain online activities. And
Yeah.
sorry, in regards with incentivization and so on, I'm also thinking these days about those activities like Oracle pools or Rosen watchers, right? So some I don't know how to call it, maybe kind of deep in activities, right? So, but yeah, federated off-chain activities, right, with on-chain incentivization, actually. Like gathering data from the real world and post it on the blockchain, or watch our other blockchains, right, like Dan and Rosen. So yeah, I think those things are quite unique to Ergo, right? And yeah, quite. Those designs are based on UTXO, right? So that's why they implemented on Ergo, I believe. Both Oracle pools and Rosen. But we can think about more activities, right? Where you have something in off-chain, and there is need to have multiple witnesses, and then very simple and lean incentivization protocol on blockchain, right? Means also inexpensive.
Right.
And that's interesting. I mean, what other possible applications in that direction could be found? And that's, I guess, motivating for developers around to build something, right, which will be Ergo specific, kind of.
I like that. And so as far as incentivizing goes, I like that at least Rosen is kind of requiring you. Well, you don't have to use your own node, right? Well, I guess you have to. It requires you to spin up a node, so at least you have 250 watchers right now incentivized for running a node. So and being paid out. So I think that's great. If project could think of that, perhaps some things are built. Yeah.
Yeah, but the same with Gort, right, and Oracle
Exactly.
tools.
Yep.
And we can find more activities, and then people will run Node.js also to run some business on top of, like Watcher or Oracle or whatever. And this is also quite beneficial, right, for the Ergo. In regards with everything, so network security, and then also there is some on-chain protocol which is generating transactions, rewarding miners, so you're increasing network security, and then also creating utility on the blockchain, right? Like delivering data, delivering financial data, like in case of Poland.
Kushti, we've got one final question, and it's for you. Are you ready?
Are we out of time already? So I'm not.
Yeah, we're 16 past the hour, sir.
Yeah, probably I'm talking.
I got to get back to real work. Yeah, in real life work. All right, final question for you.
All right.
It's from Mr. Pixel. He says, Kushti, when can we see you in Cyberverse?
I will try to find time. Maybe this Saturday, actually. So,
Kushti, I'm sure if you told the Cyberverse gang that you were going to play at, Saturday at 1400 UTC, there would be a Cyberverse event, and you would have a lot of people. So you're not going to be alone. Just give them a heads up, and I'm sure they'd make a fun event around it.
I can actually pre-announce, yes, but about Saturday, maybe just a few hours before, because yes, Saturday is a bit tricky talking about scheduling things. Also, I've promised HQ to put something on Mew, and we will do that maybe even tonight. I'll try to find time for that.
Something physical or something digital only?
It's about service. So the idea of mine is to.
Oh, your man hours. Yep.
Yeah, myself actually. So my time. On Mew.
We can rent Kushti. That's going to be great.
Like hours of consultations. Yeah, I mean it would be better maybe than to do that in unprincipled way as done now.
Let me go. I'm sure there's tons of people in the ecosystem that can do that too. Put their own hours up there. I know Maverick's skilled and done a lot of like creation stuff with his project. I know Mr. Pixel's probably too busy for that, but Mr. Pixel's great at obviously making pixel art and those kind of things. There's Andy, who's running us right now, is trained in video editing and audio and streaming. I think Andy should put some of his time up for that kind of thing, so project leads who want help with that can get one-on-one tutoring sessions from Andy. So there's tons of talent in the ecosystem. That's not just coding that people can put up on Mew for sale. Yeah.
Yeah, we have actually quite brilliant designers around. So.
Yeah.
Marcello as well, right? And maybe even NFT artists can do.
Right.
That. So I mean, I'm even willing to buy maybe some service like that for Dexy, and not just. So I mean. Why not? And that's how we can have kind of local economy and also global, right?
Exactly.
I can sell my coding hours, and maybe also I can do like reviewing cryptographic schemes, right? And blockchain things, tokenomics to a certain degree even, and many things. Then another guy can do graphics, right? And all of us can also need for services to, I don't know, do some work on servers, right? But it could be quite sensitive also. So it should be some trusted guy. But yeah, then a lot of work like video, right, and text writing even, and so on, copywriting. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, 100%. All right, we're at 10:20, Kirsty. It's time to get back to time to get to bed.
All right. Yeah. Then yeah. Going back to work. So yeah, it was my pleasure. And let's try maybe Zoom call next time. So
You want to do Zoom next Thursday?
Oh, I actually don't know. Or maybe yeah, next week I will be in Dubai actually for some events like Cardano Summit. There will be a couple of blockchain conferences there, and yeah, I also got some invitation to Cosmoverse event. Don't know why. I don't know much about Cosmos, to be honest. Yeah, but yeah, I know. Yeah, they I don't know, founders. So Jake Won and Ethan since like 2015 when it was Tender Mint. Funny days. And then yeah, also we are thinking yeah, to do some ergo gathering in the town, and yeah, discuss actually some things, including contributions to different things, like producing guides. Even there are such calls now in certain parts of community to do guides for Ethereum folks. I mean, what Ergo is, and yeah, how to use the Rosen bridge and so on. And yeah, also yeah, then about the. So let me check. So maybe it could be MA without me, right? And then Zoom call in 2 weeks, and then Spaces after.
That sounds good.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check my schedule a little bit.
Keep us posted.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Day, everyone. Bye.
Ciao, everybody.